Good day, everyone. Are you a change maker? Are you the revolution waiting to happen in the world? I just finished a live video on paradigm shifting, and I wanted to share some of it with all of you here on my live channel. I want to thank you all for being subscribed up to this channel and watching any amount of time that you have, the videos that I put up here. And today we want to talk a little bit about the importance of becoming a change maker and or a bringer of change, because a lot of people are waiting for change to happen, maybe even running away from it, maybe avoiding it, staying stuck in comfort zones, doing things in a familiar way, really insisting that things remain familiar and comfortable, really. And we're living in a time where there is so much challenge for a point of difference, for things to become more conscious, more aware. And really, the capacity for change in each of us is really what determines whether we're going to be happy enough through this time. Because I don't know if you've noticed, and you would agree with me on this, but a lot of people out there are struggling and suffering a lot more than before. And a lot of people are succeeding and triumphing and building businesses and becoming millionaires and breaking world records more than before. In fact, there's been a lot of research on that second part I just mentioned called the flow state. So we know that achievement is totally possible during this time. And we know that there is so much more change. So why do we need to become change makers? Basically, because if we don't make the change, change is going to make us. So we are going to be hit by all these changes if we are not just a little bit ahead of it. So paradigm shifting is all about that. We are really in a time right now where we are shifting the paradigm, right? And some would even say that there are enough people around that are paradigm shifters. I'm going to say you are the revolution and you are the change maker that the world absolutely needs. So how can you do that? I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first tip is for you to actually learn a lot more about whole brain thinking. So what is left brain thinking and how does it actually damage and limit the world? Well, most of us have been trained at a young age to use a very specific area of the brain by also working a lot more with the right hand, having more right-handed people. We have a lot more people focusing certain areas of intelligence and developing those in school systems. And those have to do with logic, rationality, and rational thought, logic, order, analysis, and really thinking that certain things have to be very structured, and sometimes believing that everything has to be very structured. And this is where the left brain dominance skews our perception, distorts us a little bit, and makes us become actually kind of one-sided in a way. And there's a lot of studies that also prove that left brain dominance can lead to aggression and a lower ability to navigate and deal with emotions. So right brain is a simplification. We use many different areas of the brain to do many different things, but the right hemisphere of the brain is often a little bit more active when we are involved in things like intuition, creativity, feeling, navigating our emotional processes, what we feel about stuff, how we're going to respond, is organized a lot in the right hemisphere of the brain, as is our creativity. Our ability to imagine things, to change, is scattered around the brain, but we do have a lot of feedback happening in the right side of the brain when we are being more emotive and more creative and more abstract, right? So when we learn to work with both hands, we balance the body in this bilateral symmetry. And when you investigate the power of that, you will see that you develop your neuroplasticity. When you do that, you become much more connected, and you can actually work in what we call a synchronized hemispheric state. Hemispheres are synchronizing. Whole brain thinking. My second tip for you is newness. Newness is another word for change, and it's really the capacity that we have to do things in a new way and enjoy the sense of refreshment that it brings. It's like a vacation. Now, I work often with people in psychotherapeutic practice that I had all the years back, and still now I have some clients there where we talk a lot about this, because when you have an anxiety-based condition, it's very difficult to feel safe and to feel like you can do things new and different and feel safe and not do it with fear. So fear is often stopping us from doing things in a new way. So that's why when you develop the ability to do things in a new way, you are also developing your neuroplasticity, helping the brain become powerful and able to become a change maker, to do things in a new way, to shift the paradigm, to bring a new take, to think of it in a new way. Third thing I want you to think about is time bending. We're living in a time where we are bombarded by stimulation, and we don't have enough bandwidth that we can just do this without being affected. Our bandwidth is our capacity to take on stuff, and we are being saturated often from all the online technology, all the world environment, the way things run, with the amount of transport around us, the amount of noise and bustle in cities. Our bodies electromagnetically are very much affected, and our sense of time is changing, because time has literally changed on the planet since 2000, because the earth is rotating a little quicker. So your ability to plan time, to manage time, to not waste time, to say no to things that are going to use up your time unnecessarily or drain your energy, is so important as well. Because to be a change maker or a pioneer for our times, you have to be able to use your precious resource of time really well to focus on what's really needed and bring the change that we all will truly benefit from. If you want to learn more about any of this, you're very welcome to jump into my Women of Truth X Factor group. That's for women who want to be change makers. And if you're not a woman and you are interested in the subject, I'm also training men and women professionals in my 9 Styles of Leadership online course. You can always jump onto my website and book a session, a discovery call, where we can see if you're a match for this. And it's work based on the Enneagram, but it takes us much further into how we can become luminary leaders for our time. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for your time and attention. Take care and have a great week.